Australia being represented today, and looking forward to seeing these guys interviewed and talking about their stories.
Absolutely. It's a team from Capital Bodybuilding that will be here as well. That's such an exciting part of the evening as well. So they'll be here. We can see the team is getting ready. Things are getting handed out here at the AIS Gold Room, which is so exciting. And a big part of that means that it's going to be brilliant. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to continue on our coverage. We thank everybody for being a part of that. And they're going to be a huge, huge welcoming part of that. And it's my pleasure right now to introduce one of the men from Capital Bodybuilding. This is Miloslav Jovic. Great to see you, my friend. What an absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks very much for joining us here on the broadcast. We are live and free this evening before we move into pay-per-view on the weekend. Miloslav, Capital Bodybuilding has been a real pleasure of yours. You've done such a great job in promoting that. Tell us a little bit about its roots and origins and how much you're enjoying it. You've got your great friend here, Darko. I've known him for a very long time as well. Star soccer player of mine once upon a time in a previous year, and we'll talk to him in a little bit as well. But tell us about how far you've come with Capital Bodybuilding, how much you've enjoyed that, and what that all means for all of our people that are watching this online.
Yeah, for sure. So firstly, thanks for bringing us on here. So the main motivation behind Capital Bodybuilding was to give Canberra athletes a platform to share their, their stories. And as you know, in this day and age, Instagram and, all those social media outlets are one of the most showcased sort of platforms for everyone to show their, their physiques leading up to the show, upcoming events and everything like that. So the main motivation was just to sort of give people a bit more of a platform and, get more exposure to the bodybuilding world. So as people might know, in Canberra, bodybuilding is, very, very niche, and bodybuilding as a sport, it's, if people don't understand it, it's more just to get out there and show them what it's all about. So, and that, that can go from, gym videos to
all the flexes we used to do as kids, mate, jacking up.
That's yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's been awesome to, partner with, ICN and, and get the athletes out there because, they put in all this work, and it's awesome just to give them, a platform to share their hard work. So let alone from the stage, but the preparation to the stage and what it actually takes to get up there. So
I think that's part of the whole industry and business that people don't quite understand, Mila, is that it's such a hard sport. I mean, everybody can train for their certain other sports, but there's so many extra factors that come in when it comes to bodybuilding, and that's got to do with the way that you need to treat your physique. It's got to do with the way that you need to treat your eating, your sleep, and it's also like relationship management around you as well. If you've got kids, you've got a family, all that sort of stuff. Like, there's nothing about it realistically that is easy. So I know this might sound like a bit of an easy question or a simple question, but from your perspective, like, how hard is bodybuilding? How hard is it to get yourself in that shape, to come back year after year after year, to continue to be so good? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So I've competed before and I've got a bit of a taste for it, and it is a very hard sport because, as you mentioned before, in regards to soccer, if the star player is out, that you can still go in and potentially win the game. Whereas bodybuilding, you can't afford to skip a meal, you can't afford to skip a training session, because what's going to happen is that'll actually end up showing when you get on stage to that point. So, it might be a meal here or a meal there. Maybe you miss a training session there, but, everyone that, it sticks 100% to their diet, 100% to their plan, it shows when you get up on stage who's done the hard work compared to, people who might have been slacking here and there. So, and as you might know as well, it takes a long time to put on muscle. So it's not as easy as people think, right? So, it takes time to put on muscle, and then it takes time to cut down on the fat as well. So leading up to the preparation to the show, people are taking months and months to get into shape, get into top nick shape, because there's a big difference between being lean and being competition ready, right? So you can get lean, look nice on the beach, but getting competition lean, that's a whole nother level. So,
mate, that's so well explained, and I think that's something that all of our listeners and everybody that's watching this, and will be a big part of watching this telecast on the weekend, will know and understand. But for those that are just joining this, for the first time, and we thank all of our subscribers for being such a big part of this, is that it is such a difficult sport to be a part of. But it's something that, I always love to use the anecdotes of myself and someone, who's always loved going to the gym and training and keeping fit, never to that competition level. But for me, it's a real pleasure always as well to be someone who gets to be a part of that and gets to watch the competitors at their highest level. And then what you do is you sort of respect it even more because you know, like, the effort I've put in, and then I'm watching it going, wow, this is difficult, like, this is tough. You guys are taking it to that next level, and for me, it's almost, it's a huge level of respect. It's a huge level of enjoyment to be able to sit back and watch everybody get on stage. And, you know, I'm also grateful I get to, you know, MC lots of bodybuilding shows, so you get to see the young guys that are coming through, or you get to see the big boys that have been around for a long time, or the wonderfully, you know, physiqued women that are on the circuit as well. So for that, it's such a big part of it. One thing I wanted to touch on quickly was that mental aspect. Is that how hard is it to get yourself into a mindset where you actually recognise and realise that you can't afford to miss a meal, or you can't afford to, you know, miss a training session? Because that's something that, you know, I feel like even in your team sports we talked about before, if it was rugby league, if it was football, whatever the case may be, look, if you're sick for a couple of days, you miss a session, the team will go on, you can almost seamlessly slot back in, but it doesn't quite work like this. So how do you get yourself focused like that to be able to keep going?
That's a really good question, because everyone's different. You know, everyone has different mindsets and motivations, you know, when it comes to getting into that preparation for the competition. So I feel like if you're not in that mindset, you will end up becoming in that mindset, because that's what it takes to get to the stage. So, you know, after you diet for a certain amount of time, you'll realize that, you know, okay, you know, this is what I've got to do for now. This is to lock in, and there'll be a switch, a mental switch, where, you know, you'll be like a robot towards the end. You'll be eating at the same time, sleeping at the same time, training at the same time, and there'll just be a motivational switch. So I feel like the people who maybe don't get that switch, you know, they're the ones that you can probably see that they're a little bit, you know, lacking on stage, I suppose. But yeah, I think it comes in pretty early, and you will know pretty early.
A beautiful part of that as well is what I found is that when you get into that sort of that mode of watching lean muscle build and watching those changes take shape, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people potentially struggle with the concept of. You know, even just when it comes to basically losing weight or whatever the case, it's like, oh, I've done this for 3 days, 4 days, and it's tough, and it's time for a cheat meal now. It's like, listen, this is a long process. It's drawn out. It's difficult. It's not easy, and that's where you get the satisfaction, where you get, you know, judged with that final, you know, credit, and that's what's so good about it. So how much of that have you been able to recognise as part of Capital Bodybuilding now and get people in the scene? And my second part to that question is, are you going around, you know, gym by gym and all the different areas and talking to all those different people and getting that sort of content and that delivery?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been sort of, you know, from the competitive aspect, I've been competing quite a while and got to know quite a few people. I train around. Obviously, Canberra's a small place. Go to the gym, you get to know and sort of pick out who does bodybuilding and stuff like that. And it's cool to see the sport grow in that aspect, but also, you know, to pick people's brains about, you know, why they're doing what they're doing as well. So, you know, everyone has their different motivational aspects and you know, reasons why they're competing. It might be, you know, I want to get in shape so I can do a photo shoot eventually after the show, or it might be, you know, it could be even just I want to drop 20 kilos, and then they get to that, like, okay, what's the next level? Maybe if I can get on stage.
Yep. How do you move to the next step, right?
That's right. Yeah, and the crazy thing about bodybuilding is that it's very scientific, the sport. So,
incredible.
You know, if you get sick one day, you can hold a little bit of water. You can hold a bit of water when you're stressed. You know, and all of these things are little things that we probably didn't even think about in the normal day. So, learning all these things over time, it's awesome. And you know, it's really cool to see Canberra, the bodybuilding aspect in Canberra, and the shows and everything growing. And obviously, it's a big shout out to Vivek as well, because he's been the main man behind it all, and you know, he's been really pushing it, and he's been expanding. It's awesome to see. So
he's been instrumental in getting things progressed on to a level now where it's really showcasing its quality, showcasing its appetite for everybody to be a part of that. And that's one thing that we absolutely love. You know, I know that there's other big things that are in the works for later in the year, and all sorts of wonderful announcements that will come in time. So it's only growing bit by bit by bit, which is so exciting. And that's part of it that I find so exciting, and so, you know, it's something that you can anticipate so much and be like, wow, when this gets to those levels, it's going to be absolutely incredible. Now, We can see everybody lining up here, lots of competitors, the room is starting to fill up. What's the vibe been like for you ahead of the weekend? What are people saying about what is shaping up to be the biggest Season A show ever, which is huge, because we all know the Canberra and Country Titles, or whatever it might be, if it's, you know, Sydney and Region Titles, that Season A show is people coming out of summer break, Christmas break. You know, you usually find your big competitors bunkered down in winter, but this shows that everybody's been on it from, you know, probably January into February and ready to go now early. So what's the vibe been like in the gym scene and everyone that you're talking to?
It's awesome. So, you know, a lot of these competitors, they would know that they're competing in Season A even from the start of last year. So, you know, they probably were dieting from over New Year's, you know, even over Easter. So they wouldn't be enjoying themselves over Easter and stuff. They'd be, you know, suffering to get into this shape. So, and it's awesome to see that this is going to be one of the biggest Season A shows in ICN history. So, you know, the vibe in the room and everything like that leading up to the show in the gyms, it's awesome to see. And you can see people in the gyms who's getting in shape and who's getting leaner and leaner by the day, because, you know, if you're someone like me, I train at the same time, same gym every day, and you start seeing people who come in and they're getting leaner and leaner, and then, you know, you could sort of get an eye for it over the time and know who's doing what.
Watch them develop as well, yeah.
That's right. No, that's sort of the main reason why we started Capital Bodybuilding, right, is because, like I said before, it's a very niche sport, and it's awesome to, you know, get everyone in together and, you know, and to sort of, you know, celebrate each other's wins and everything like that. And, you know, there's a lot of people like the community comes together, especially in bodybuilding, because, you know, I've met a lot of my friends through bodybuilding and saying, you know, I like, what show are you doing? I'm doing, you know, ICN in this many weeks. So, oh, me too. And it's like, oh, let's have a session together, and then bang, you know, and it's awesome just to collaborate like that. So
yeah, mate, that's so good to hear, because that's one thing that I feel like the industry here could have used, you know, 30 years ago. I remember when I was growing up and you were a young guy in the gym. Oh, not 30 years ago. I mean, for me, it was, you know, more around the 22 years ago. But even so, you'd see some of the great bodybuilders in Queanbeyan growing up that I used to see, like Johnny Risotto and Nick Burtsos and those guys in the gym. Like, that was amazing. And you were just a young kid watching these big guys in there just pushing crazy weight. And, you know, for us, that's kind of how it started, right? But, I mean, the science has always been there in terms of competing, but the science, even for people starting out now, is almost more well known. We're in a different age too, right?
That's right.
We're in an age where you've got access to internet, you've got access to information, you've got so much that's right in front of you. So, you know, that's made it easier for everybody to go, you know what, I can get into the scientific part earlier on, because for us it was almost like, let's just push as much weight as we can early on, whereas now it's changed into this whole different sphere of, right, like I can start dieting early, I can start getting my protein macros measured, or make sure my micronutrients are up and what sort of stuff. So that's got to be a big part of it, right, and what you're seeing as well.
100%. So even like, you know, I remember when I first started, you know, I used to see these big boys at the gym, and I'm like, man, that guy's huge. I wonder, like, you know, if he competes, I wonder, like, you know, what he eats and stuff like that. And then, you know, I guess Capital Bodybuilding is bringing that community together. Be like, oh, you know, like I share these athletes on the page, and then, you know, people can be like, oh, you know, that guy, he trains at my gym. You know, I wonder what he eats, and then they can follow him based off, you know, off my profile, and then go from there and be like, oh, okay, so, you know, he and this is what he's looking up leading into the show. This is the show he's doing, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just like, it's an awesome place to sort of get it all to collaborate, like literally for collaboration. And, you know, it's come a long way since probably when, you know, you started training, even when I started training, which was only, you know, 10 years ago or so.
And look at the progress, mate. It's fantastic, mate. We'll have to make sure we keep that up when you get the ring on your finger too, mate, coming up soon, which is exciting. You can see that up on the screen at the moment. That is the QR code to order the pay-per-view for this Sunday. I'll be proudly hosting that from up on stage, and then also inside the venue. We've got the commentary box as well, hoping that you'll be a part of that at some point, I'm assuming. If you're not, I'm going to chuck you under the bus there, mate. You're going to be in there doing that, which is fantastic. So that's the one that's up there on the screen right now. So scan that QR code if you haven't ordered already. Pay-per-view, ICN ACT, the Canberra and Country Titles for 2024. The room is getting nicely filled up. Lots of people looking magnificent in their best cocktail evening wear. No cocktails, of course, Miled, because we are at a bodybuilding pre-match event, pre-show event. However, everyone's looking their best, and what a great chance to get photos, to network, and to get showcased in terms of what they're doing. Huge announcements coming up as part of the program a little bit later on, which is great. We've got Nick Burtsos course, is the ICN ACT president ready to jump up on stage and make a few comments, which is huge. So at that point, it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, Mile, moving forward, I want to ask you a quick question about yourself. What are you looking to do competing-wise? You've competed a few times now. It must be at least, what, 4, 5, 6 times, right?
Yeah,
4 times?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 5 times over 3 seasons.
Yep.
Yep. So at the moment, I'm just trying to put on. I'll cut back a little bit now, so I can look nice and lean for this show.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the nice jaw chisel.
That's it, mate. We're going to shave that beard, mate. That's how you get the chisel like I've got there, mate. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, no. For myself, I'm just I'm in a bit of a maintenance phase now, and I'll do a big push. Try and stack a bit more size on, and yeah, obviously I'm getting married at the end of the year, so
congratulations, mate.
Look as good as I can for that.
Great
and then
news.
yeah, and then after that, I will, maybe push and then maybe do a show maybe in the next few years. So see how we go with that. So like I said before, muscle building, it takes a while, and it's not something that you can rush. It's something, it does take time. It takes time to get into that uncomfortable state, eating the uncomfortable amount of food, etc. And that's sort of what I'm going to be aiming for, to get uncomfortable and get big and get heavy.
Well, it's dropping those calories down, right? That's always the thing. I know that where you can start off at your sort of, whether it's your 2K, 1500, and then you really got to drop down, right? Lots of high protein, minimise your carbs, but keep your fats up sometimes, and then you get yourself in that point where, what's your sort of lowest level to get to that pure stage leanness that you're talking about? What are we talking here? Like 1200 calories, 1300 calories? Is that your limit really, to make sure that you get lean as possible but still function day to day?
Yeah, it's so hard because everyone's
different, right?
Yeah,
good point. So if you're
right.
bigger, you still almost need that. Yeah, anyway, elaborate on this for us.
It's very interesting. So like I was saying before, bodybuilding is very scientific. So, a lot of people, not one diet's going to fit every person, right? You have to specifically have a specific diet to cater for each person. So, maybe for something that you might eat, you might be in a deficit at 2,500 calories, whereas I might have to get all the way down to 1,900, right?
Wow.
So, I'm not saying that I will. I eat a lot of food, but it just depends on each person. So things can, it cannot matter with like.
How do you work that out? Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. How do you work that out? What your deficit threshold is? How do you work out, like, right, this is my exact? I mean, I know you can't get it exact.
Yep.
But how do you know that? Okay, give or take 1,900 calories is where I'm at. Therefore, for a slow lean up, you're talking 1,800 over a period of 10 weeks to start. Then you go down bit by bit by bit. Like what?
Yep.
Give us a bit of background on that.
Yeah, so it depends where you really get in the off season, right? So if in the off season, if you're chowing down, say, 3,500 calories, leading into the show or leading into your cut, you'll be slowly cutting, and then normally when you first start cutting, there's a drastic cut, and you'll sort of notice that in your weight dropping, and then that's sort of where you can manage it. So that's where people, most of the competitors would have coaches. They would cater, so they would cut back calories ever so often, every other week, watch their weight. So I think for the I can't be saying the accurate sort of calories for each specific competitor, male or female, but I know for myself, in the off season, I was pushing 4,000 calories or something.
That's huge, man. Yeah.
So I'd be in my deficit, I'd be 2,500, which is probably just quite a lot of food still. But
that sounds like a lot to me, man.
Yeah.
I reckon my wife's got me on 2,000 a day. I reckon I'm on a nice, comfortable 2,000, 2,200. I mean, I'm not training like you guys. Don't get me wrong, but I am training. I am running. But that's a reasonable level. So there you go. It goes to show with the amount that you're carrying around how important that is.
Yeah. So and like I was saying before, it's so scientific, and it's not one diet fits all. Everyone's specific, and it depends even like what you do for. One of the things that I notice is that what you do for a job. So me being, who I am outside of bodybuilding, I work in IT, so I sit down most of the day. So I wouldn't need as much calories as someone who might be doing a trade, for example.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the examples of many. Then there's like the metabolism, how much you're training, like your intensity of your training. There's just so many, your stress even, your sleep. There's so many like different factors. It's awesome. So
you made a very good point there, which I found interesting, which had to do with, you notice that when you're having a great run of training, everything's smooth in your working life, for example, everything's smooth at home or whatever the case may be. You notice that if you get like a good sleep, 9-10 hours, you just wake up with that water retention gone, right? You just end up, with such a flat stomach, you feel strong, you feel fit. But at other times, like you said, you'll hang on to that. It's almost like those basic survival functions, right? The body goes, right, things are keeping me up, or I'm busy, activity or there's a lot happening, I'm going to hang on to a bit more of this at the moment because I need it to continue to, you know, survive and to carry on with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a really good point because even leading into the show, when you're getting much closer, you know, being at a very low body fat percentage, everything shows. So especially, you know, leading into the show, that's why a lot of the competitors really want to relax. They want to take it easy and, you know, not worry about too many things, because when you start getting to that point of leanness and you start holding water, it is noticeable when you're leaner.
Yep.
So,
yep.
You know, that's just one of the many aspects of bodybuilding, right? So you want to, it's like landing a plane really at that, like at the last few weeks leading into the show. So you want to, you know, come in, you want to be refeeding up depending on where your situation is at, and you want to land that plane perfectly and carb up. And it's especially one of the craziest things is leading into the show as well is that how much food drastically does on a lean physique. So what people might not know is that when you're eating carbs and you're filling up into the show, you've got your glycogen stores underneath your muscle. And what happens is when you're eating into the show, it actually pushes against your muscle to make it look a little bit bigger, but also leaner. So it's
Wow.
like it's a crazy thing that you're eating more, but you're getting leaner, and that normally happens when you're very, very close to show ready. And it's just it's very scientific, and that's the main reason why I got so driven into it. So.
That's why they always say, right, that last week and a half is always the toughest time, right? Those last sort of week and a half to maybe 3 weeks is the toughest because you're at your leanest. You know, well, not quite your leanest, but you're at your lowest in terms of your intake. And then what you're trying to do is make sure that, like, you are right when you say land a plane, like it comes down and then the last minute will sort of tip up and get ready to hit it properly. So by doing that, that's when you're increasing right into that sort of, is it last sort of 4 days, 3 days, 4 days into? Is that when you start really carving back up to get that pressure on and look full, as they say, and look veiny? It's
so hard because it's so different for every person, right? So like I was saying, not one thing caters for every person. So, you know, one person might be really, really lean already and be eating all the way up to the show, whereas other people, they might be holding a bit of water, so they have to do another way to land the plane, right? So they might have to go saunas or something just to get rid of that excess water. But yeah, it's crazy. And I think one of the best things I learned over time is that, you know, not one plan fits every person, and you've got to cater for that for each person. So, you know, when I was doing my show, I remember specifically one of my friends who was around here somewhere, Michele, we were doing the same show, first ever show together, and I remember him, he was telling me how much he was eating into the show, and he was having burgers and stuff leading to the show. I'm like, what? I'm like doing the exact opposite, man. I'm dying here. I'm like, dude, it was so oblivious to me. I'm like, man, what? And then, you know, and it's just crazy because we both took a whole different route, but we ended up in the same location, right? We both landed the plane. So that's one of the coolest things about this sport is that, you know, there's so much behind it. And then we haven't even spoken about supplements yet. Like supplements is a whole nother page. So
how important are they, you think? How important are they? I mean, are they in the sort of 1 or 2% category? Are they in the 10% category? As in, do they really help, or are they just a nice to have? Where do you sit on that?
Well, I've been using supplements for a while, and leading into my shows, I feel like it helps so much, especially because when you're getting deeper into your preparations for the show, you start getting really tired and you can't rely on coffees. And, you know, even having one of these before training is, you know, it'll give you a boost of energy, but then you've got other supplements that do other things like sleep and, you know, obviously you've got your proteins and your BCAAs, creatine, like all these little things. You know, I feel like if it can help you 1% and you're going to get 1% better on stage, you might as well just, you know, you might as well try it and see if it works.
Do you have any favourites, mate, despite the C4? Do you have any other any other favourites that you use? I mean, maybe just like, is it more protein? Is it more like a BCAA pre-workout? What are your sort of favourites that you like?
Yeah, so for me, myself, I stick to the basics, to be honest. So I stick to a good pre-workout before training to give me a bit of a boost of energy. I sip on a BCA whilst training, just a bit of for muscular endurance whilst training, and then a protein, and you can't go wrong with the creatine as well.
Yeah, creatine. Yep. Yeah, right. I heard creatine's coming back into fashion a bit, mate. Is that right? Like
yeah,
it's sort
100%.
Of moving back in. And what's that? Is that just a store fluid in the muscle? Is that sort of a big part of what creatine does, or what are its benefits?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the game.
Really?
Yep, across the board.
Wow.
So it'll help with your muscle endurance, muscle growth, and muscle recovery all in one. It's a wonder supplement, honestly. And 5 grams a day, every day, and that's the perfect
So is
amount.
it similar to like is it similar to like a BCAA? Is that kind of in essence similar to what it does? Or?
Yeah, very similar. So although a BCA is more of a amino acid. So amino acids are building blocks of protein, whereas
Right.
a creatine
So what does that mean? You're sort of giving yourself more foundations for protein to grow on to give you that muscle size and build? Is that what you're effectively saying there, in layman's terms?
Theoretically, yeah. So I'm trying not to get too technical.
Let's get technical. Let's get technical, mate. Let's explain it.
But so the BCAAs, we need the branched chain amino acids. That's what transfers protein into the muscles. So having BCAAs whilst training, that'll help you with your recovery theoretically. So while you're training, so it's sort of like having a Powerade or a Gatorade while you're going for a run or something. Very similar, but in the weightlifting aspect.
Excellent. Gee, that's fascinating stuff, isn't it? I mean, that's the beauty of having guests like you on the show now, mate, talking about all these fantastic things. So, look, it's all going well here. We're getting ready to kick off our gala evening very shortly. We've been live on air now for, I tell you what, it's been a solid 30 minutes almost now, 25 minutes. And we've got Darko over there as well. He's standing by to do some interviews as well. What's it been like working with Darko? He's a fantastic young guy who's come through, and that must be exciting for you to be able to help, a close family friend and someone like him to get better as he's done. And he got up on stage as well. I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago from memory. Is that right? Season A last year maybe. I can't remember exactly when, but very, very good coming through the ranks. I mean, how exciting is that? Yeah,
it's awesome. Like, I want to bring him on board, and because we share, for those of you that might, this is a bit of a long shot, but those that might follow Elite Subs in Queanbeyan, we make some reels and some good skits and stuff. And our
mate, you're doing wonderful things now, mate. Caricatures and all sorts of things, mate.
So
I'm waiting for the call up there, mate. That's for sure. It's bloody good watching you guys in action, mate. It's good.
It's
Riverside
awesome.
Plaza. Where else would you want to be, right?
2620. That's the place to
represent.
But it's awesome to bring him on board because we share like a good, I guess, sort of bond when it comes to, making the athlete or, making the competitor, whoever's we're doing interviews with, to make them feel a bit more comfortable. And, because we don't want to be serious all the time. We want to joke around and let people relax. And, it's good to bring him on board and to share his experiences compared to others. So.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, absolutely fantastic. Things are going magnificently here. This, of course, ICN ACT. It is on the screen right now, ready for the pay-per-view, which is coming up on the weekend. We're getting ready to get started with our massive gala event. It's going to be huge. I'm going to relocate shortly. You'll see me as we get underway. But before then, here's a wonderful message from some of our great partners. Very much for that, Vivek. Really appreciate that. And it is a warm welcome to everybody here to the AIS Arena. This is the Gold Room, and this is the destination for a massive event that is coming your way later on this year. Steve Powers is my name, and on behalf of ICN ACT President, Mr. Nick Boutsos, I'd like to welcome everybody here to our gala event and welcoming evening ahead of the ICN ACT Canberra and Country Titles ahead of 2024. Now, everybody, welcome tonight to this wonderful event. It's been put on magnificently by Vivek Bhattacharjee, the ICN ACT Vice President, and it is a time of a wonderful future for ICN, for bodybuilding here in Canberra, and ICN ACT setting the standard that will soon become a driving force in bodybuilding, not only in Australia, but also around the world. We've seen the massive announcements that came out, around about 6 to 8 weeks ago, that the ICN World Games are coming to Canberra. I mean, what a wonderful achievement. That really is a coup that can't be, shaken at, because it is absolutely magnificent. And it's a credit to Nick and the team for being able to showcase this great city, the great competitors that we have in this great city, and all of those that will be joining us from not only Australia, but from around the world. So it is a huge honour for all of us to be a part of that. And this is the first steps in taking that to that next level. History has been made. Season A is now the most entered Season A Canberra event in history, which is absolutely incredible. So with the amount of competitors that are going to be a part of this show on Sunday, and then that will lead into what takes place in the back end of the year, that is a testament to how much the sport is growing, the community is growing here in Canberra, and it just goes from strength to strength. Everyone tonight has received their individual competitor numbers. Registrations are complete, so it is official for everybody that is here now. Welcome, 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 and get ready for this big show on the weekend. Bodybuilding is a sport that is not for everyone. It's tough, it's demanding, it's challenging, it requires consistent effort, and it also is a sport where you can't afford to have a day off. You can't afford to get there on the weekend of a show and have something go wrong. It's not a team sport either, so it is so reliant on yourself as an individual. This community, however, is one that is for everyone. And we can see that with everybody that is involved as part of not only this show, this broadcast, the support network, and everyone that the ICN ACT President Nick Boutsos has brought together as everything grows from strength to strength. Everyone supports each other, supports the professional growth of each other. They support the individuals, and they also support everyone coming together multiple times a year to not only celebrate the peak of physical conditioning on stage, but also people's achievements, whether it's gaining muscle, whether it's losing weight, whether it's just becoming a better person. That's the beauty of this industry and everybody that is involved in it. And for regular punters like me, who just like getting in and having a train and getting to witness people on the stage every time I MC it, that credit is something that I respect very much. So on behalf of me, thank you to everybody for being such a big part of it and enjoying the individual's journey in life. Before we get into the rest of the festivities tonight, of the photos, also the interviews and some more of our live broadcasting, which has been so much fun so far. We continue to bring that over the weekend and for the rest of the year and the rest of time. I'd now like to introduce someone who's very special in bodybuilding in Canberra, our ICN ACT President and CEO. Now, Nick Boutsos has been a big part of bodybuilding in Canberra for the last 20 years, and he's now progressing into a point where not only becoming a big part, but being the part of bodybuilding in Australia and also worldwide. So with some big things coming up later in the year, I'll allow him to talk about what's coming up next. But without any further ado, please welcome the man who's reshaped this country when it comes to bodybuilding, the ACT. This is your president, Mr. Nick Boutsos.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for coming here on this start of winter evening. It starts to get cold here in Canberra quick. Thank you to Steve. Following him is pretty hard because there's not somebody better in the country. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming here to help us launch the 2024 season for ICN ACT. Tonight marks the commencement of a very exciting journey as we gather here to kickstart Season A bodybuilding show which will lead into the biggest year of natural bodybuilding that the Canberra region's ever seen. As it stands, I'm pleased to announce that the 2024 Canberra and Country Titles, which will be run this Sunday at the Canberra Southern Cross Club, will break all previous marks in entries. So this is our biggest season A event ever, which commenced in 2008. So it's been here for a while. So for me, as a person who started this a long time ago, it's really lovely to see how it's evolved. It's a great community, and everyone looks beautiful, male and female. But beyond this announcement lies a deeper significance. So we're here not just to announce this season A and this weekend's event, but we're also here to announce our World Games, which will be run at the AIS Arena, which has recently been renovated by the ACT government. So for me, this is a massive achievement, as I've run 3 Australian titles before, and I've been a president for 23 years now, since I was a young man. And for a personal achievement, it's massive, but also for the greater community, I think it's very good. So let's enjoy this weekend's upcoming event, and I want to thank all the competitors. Please enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the journey, because it's hard getting here. There's many nights of wondering how you're going to look on stage, nerves, talking to your friends, hard workouts. Please enjoy the weekend. Take a moment to slow it down and take it in, please. So as we set our sights on the horizon, let us remember the journey is just beginning. So for in the months to come, we will come here once again to witness history being made as Canberra plays host to the pinnacle of world bodybuilding in the World Natural Games. I'm very excited to announce a very big brand partner, the biggest we've ever had. But I have someone even better than me to announce it. So for the next couple of moments, please listen. We'll chuck the paper away. So in finishing, thank everybody for attending tonight. For myself personally, I'm very excited about what's upcoming for us and for the greater community here of natural bodybuilding. Yous are a big part of it. In fact, yous are the part of it. Yous make it happen. So thank you very much, and enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that, Nick. So everybody, how about that? Kevin Hart there giving us our own personal announcement, and plenty more of that to come as the rest of the year comes. So how does that sound? Big round of applause from everybody in the room and a big cheer. Absolutely fantastic. C4 on board as a massive brand partner. Now, this is, of course, a brand who partners with only the biggest events in the world. I was at WrestleMania about 4 weeks ago in Philadelphia, and C4 was right out the front with, the biggest wrestlers in the world. So that is a sign of how big it is and how important it is that we have this sort of brand recognition and partnership now moving forward. And in those words of Nick, as he said, it's all about our competitors at the end of the day. For me, I have the best job in the world. I get to talk to people involved in all of these types of industries, sports entertainment, and to be a part of it with everybody getting on stage and watching them enjoy themselves is such a wonderful, wonderful moment for me. So again, as Nick said in those profound words, it's all about the competitors. Please enjoy yourself this weekend, have a fantastic time, and really, really enjoy it, because it only comes around a couple of times a year. But I know that there's some huge announcements and other wonderful things in the works. Until the shirt's sort of held up and signed as they do in sports, we can't announce those just yet, but they're on their way very soon. So absolutely magnificent. Thank you so much again to Nick. Thanks very much to Viv and the entire team here, and to everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. It's now time to go for everybody to get their photos taken. There's going to be interviews. I'll be jumping back on the mic in just a second to talk to people and to throw to our wonderful partners here from Capital Bodybuilding, Mile and also Darko. Thank you very much for being a part of tonight. We'll talk to everybody. Get your photos done, please. We'll be posting them and getting all of that out there. So thanks very much, everybody. And without any further ado, we'll throw back to the big screen for another fantastic message.
partnering the ICN World Natural Games, one of the largest energy drinks in the world, if not the biggest mover in professional sports.
The best.
And to be associated with us, oh, what an announcement, mate, and just couldn't be happier.
Congratulations on getting that done, Viv, because that's something that's always so hard to do. I'm going to change these. I tell you what, in between interviews, Viv, I'm going to get the blue one that I love, mate, because that's my favourite, and that's the one that I'll be having on Sunday when I'm emceeing and commentating this show, mate. Tell us quickly now what's happening. We've got Capital Bodybuilding doing interviews.
Yes, sir. We've got some interviews going down with all our amazing athletes, and I think we are ready to send it over to Milisav, I believe. Milisav.
Hey guys, you got Milisav here from Capital Bodybuilding. I'm welcome with Josh. Nice to see you. How are you feeling leading up to the show?
No, I'm pretty good. This week has been a little bit different, backing up from Newcastle last week, so we have a whole lot of extra food this week, nice and full, so getting ready.
I was about to ask, what was the plan coming into peak week this time around? So compared to last time, obviously that was probably a warm-up show. The ACT show is going to be the main hitter. So how was the peak week leading into this show?
So the biggest difference is, I guess, a whole lot of carbs in comparison. Last week we kind of used it as a practice run. Obviously get a hit out for the year, try and get some nerves out before ACTs. This week's been absolutely killer when it comes to food. Like, I'm not going to complain with 350 plus grams of carbs a day. Yeah. Like, I know some people at the moment would be dreaming of that, and like having low days at like 2,600. I can't complain.
How was the training leading up to the competition? So, like, have you noticed a much drop in strength or anything like that? And
I guess for me, with prep, everything's like a mental game. I've always kind of like pushed through. I don't think this prep, maybe besides like last 2 weeks, I've lost any strength. I guess anyone that follows me on Instagram, I always kind of like, always show the fact that if you can push the thing the uphill, and it's like as much as you can push, you can keep as much muscle as possible, and that's my mindset behind it. So
man, on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding, all the best of luck, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Easy. See you guys then.
That was Miller there, up there with our first of our guests. That was Josh, fantastic competitor. Competed last week in Newcastle, I believe. Right. So what's that like? How important is that for somebody to basically get a show under their belt before they come into a bigger one like this?
Well, it's fantastic. Josh has been competing with us for years, so it's fantastic to see him make a full season out of it this time. He was one of the competitors that was through that COVID era that had a couple shows taken away from him, so it's great to see him backing it up. Warm-up show last week, ready to go this week, Steve.
Well, the boys are out there. They're nearly ready to go. They're just getting set up, our boys from Capital Bodybuilding here, and this is one of my great friends, Andrew Latomsky, and he looks like he's actually competing this weekend finally because he's looking ripped. He's got the Thor outfit on and he's ready to go for an interview shortly. I love this guy and I can't.
The Thor of Canberra, Queanbeyan, the man himself. So
Thor of Australia and the world, really.
So
Canberra's enough.
Mate.
Or Queanbeyan.
Yeah, Queanbeyan's a place to be.
Let's
So
go with that.
how was your motivation coming into the show? What was your motivation for coming and doing the ICN ACT this weekend?
Motivation's really high. I'm a online coach for General Pop in the pop culture community. So we all train to be basically superheroes. Whoever inspires us to train, eat healthy, live our best lives. So as you can guess, Thor's a big inspiration of mine. So I've channeled his energy to get me through this prep, which has been such a rewarding challenge because this is the leanest I've ever been. And I've reached whole new depths and a whole new understanding as to what it actually means and what it actually feels like to prepare for a bodybuilding competition. So.
And I know you outside of the gym as well. Oh, sorry, outside of here. I see you at the gym as well. And you explained to me that you've done a show, but it was over 10 years ago. So compared to that to now, what's the motivation behind that? Because mate, that's a long time and a long gap in between. And a lot of things have changed. Obviously, you would have gotten bigger, leaner, stronger. There's so many little aspects coming into it. So give us a little bit of spiel on that one.
Yeah. And you're definitely right. 10 years ago is the last time I competed, and a lot's changed since then. Now my motivation is to show people in our community what we can do with support from the community. So ICN's a fantastic community, and we've all got these other little communities that exist. With us, it's in the pop culture area. So I really wanted to help inspire the people that I'm around so frequently and show them, what they're capable of. Because I'm coming from a place of not the best health. You know, I was living a really unbalanced lifestyle, and if I can turn it around, and if I can believe that I'm Thor, then everyone else can believe that they're the superhero that they want to be too. So
That's awesome. So, anyways, we'll catch you on Sunday, and all the best of luck on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding.
brother. Thank you so
All
much.
the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for that, Miller. Great interview with Andrew Latomsky, the Thor of Australia. He's competing on the weekend. We could see his guns popping in there. How good was that, Viv? It's great to see him. He's a great part of the show. He usually comes as part of Bulk Nutrients, but this time he's coming to compete. And maybe Bulk Nutrients as well. How good's that, Viv?
I was going to say, it's part of the greater community, right, Steve, that, if we've been able to have such a good time on one side, that we can bring them over for the other side.
Absolutely. Now, back now with Capital Bodybuilding. They're over there getting ready. This is Darko Radovanovic, the first time we hear from our great friend Darko from Capital Bodybuilding. Over to you, Darko.
Hey guys, it's Darko here from Capital Bodybuilding. With my good mate Ben. Ben, how are we doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. So you're doing the ACT show now. You've already competed at IFBB. You did the New South Wales show the other week. What's the motivation now behind the ACT show? Are you just more hungry for it? Do you want more trophies? Like, what's your motivation?
Yeah, so I think the ACT show has really been the main focus for this season. IFBB was just a bit of fun, sort of get used to the stage, get up there, compete against some very large boys, and just sort of compare myself against them, especially posing-wise. And then ICN was more compare myself against some naturals, and then sort of see how that goes down. But yeah, ACT is the one I've been hungry for, the one I've been driving for the whole time, and I'm really excited to hopefully try and take out a sword, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, it is now, as we found out, the biggest Season A in history, basically. Most sign-ups, so there's going to be a lot of competitive athletes out there, but no doubt that you'll do good, I hope. Now, another question I want to ask is, like, obviously your coach is Josh, one of your best mates. As an athlete, what do you look for in a coach?
Just really good communication. So, and also when you need advice or when you need to change things up, they're always there to listen. So when I've had to change my diet or really change my planning because I've had niggles or injuries, he's been great, and he's just made all those changes for me, really listened and accommodated to what I need. So that's probably the most thing.
Beautiful. Well, I wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Easy.
And great training today.
Thank you.
There he was again, Darko. I tell you what, he's become a man-mountain on the microphone as well as on the stage. Absolutely brilliant job. Viv, another great competitor, competed last week, and I tell you what, not only looking good on stage, but looking good in a suit as well.
Very dapper with that suit. It sort of suits the physique. I saw Ben last week, and I can't wait to see the physique he brings this weekend.
Well, Benny, looking fantastic. He's got the three-piece on. Maybe he'll bring a three-piece ensemble on Sunday on the stage and take it out in the morning. Back over to you, Miloslav, with another one of our fantastic competitors.
What's up, guys? We've got Tristan here with me. So, Tristan, I just thought I'd stop you and say, congratulations on you making it to this far. What was your motivation to coming into this show on Sunday?
The big motivation was weight loss and my kids. My wife and I have done it together, Ali. I've lost 40 kilos, and my wife has just lost 30. So we thought, let's give it a go. Let's have some fun.
Mate, that's awesome. And probably the question on everyone's mind is, what's your cheat meal? Are you craving anything after this long prep? Or are you just, you're happy with your chicken and rice? Or
after this long prep, the one thing I'm looking forward to is a chili prawn pasta. That is it.
Oh, man, that sounds delicious. So, anyways, all the best for Sunday, and we'll hope to see you there, and we'll catch you for an interview after the show.
No worries.
All the best.
That was Miloslav again there from Capital Bodybuilding. Don't forget, you can see the QR code on the screen at the moment. Buy it now. Pay per view. How much is that one on the weekend, Viv?
Only $19.99.
How much is that, Viv?
That is $19.99.
$19.99. That is cheap as chips, as they say. Magnificent job. And well done on getting that on pay-per-view, Viv. What a great thing for you and the team.
Thank you, Steve. But the athletes deserve it, and we've got a whole list of them still coming, and there's more of them to see on stage.
Absolutely. Darko's with another one of our wonderful competitors. Back over to you, Darko.
Hey guys, Darko again with Capital Bodybuilding. I'm here with Brendan from BZM Fitness. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Really, really good.
So what can you tell us a little bit about your page you just told me about?
Yeah, man. So just recently I've started up on Instagram BZM Fitness, which is a new thing that I've bringing out, which is basically going to be health and fitness, obviously bodybuilding, following a bit of ICN, and also there's going to be some stuff in there with mental health as well.
Oh, beautiful. Honestly, I think in bodybuilding is one of the biggest aspects, mental health. Like obviously when you're in a prep, you don't think straight, you're hungry all the time. So it's pretty cool that you're actually doing that. Like, that's part of it.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And you're saying you're competing next season as well?
Yeah, next season, Season B. So I'm actually working at the moment with Brian Miner from 3DMJ. So shout out to Brian. So yeah, at the moment I'm actually going through a cutting phase, then I've got to go back through another bulking phase and then a final cut ready for Season B. So really, really excited, man. Can't wait for it.
Beautiful, Oz. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, brother.
And can't wait to hear more about your page. That's it.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers.
Excellent work there, Darko, with another one of our competitors, Brendan there. Not sure if he's competing this weekend, but looking absolutely fantastic. We've gone from all the beasts, and now it's time for the beauty, Viv, some of the beautiful women that are going to be competing on stage. How good's this, Viv?
Oh, we've got the awesome Romy here. She's got a fantastic story, and I'm sure she is going to share that with everyone right now. Very happy to have Romy a part of this event.
Looking forward to it. Over to you, Miloslav, with Romy.
Hey guys. So yeah, we got Romix here. So just wanted to jump in. We thought we'd grab you and to see how you're going. So we know that you did a show last week. You cleaned up at that show, and we just wanted to see how you're feeling leading into this week. How was the carb up? How was the peak week? How was the training? How's your mindset? How's everything going?
So peak week was totally different from last peak week. Carved up since Monday, so been eating. I've got food coming out of my ears, but not complaining, and feeling really, really happy. A bit nervous, but yeah, if you're not nervous before a show, then you don't have blood in your veins.
Yeah, that's right. And you did a show last year as well. Was it Season A? Have you noticed much of a difference in how you look, how you feel? Sometimes when you do preps, you might come in leaner and better and more energy. So have you noticed any of that coming into this prep?
So coming into this prep, I've definitely improved from last year. My package from last year has improved a lot, and peak week this year was all the prep was much easier than last year. But I think it's also because I knew what I was getting into. Last year I didn't know. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding, we wish you all the best, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Romy there in the building talking to Miloslav Capital Bodybuilding. As you said, Viv, some of these competitors have great stories, don't they? And that's such a key part of what we do here at ICN ACT and how big we're going to take it worldwide.
Absolutely. Like, we understand who we are. We are a great ground root start for a lot of people, giving us a greater goal outside of former sports that we may have played, and then making sure we have a bit of a goal for our training. And, with this line, it's just amazing, Steve. I can't believe how many people are lined up.
People living on former glories like me, Viv, and that's why it's so good. So we've got another one of our beautiful competitors. This is Alison, joined by Darko. Over to you, Darko.
Hey guys, you got Darko back again for Capital Bodybuilding. I'm here with Ali, and Ali, what category are you doing this weekend?
I'm doing bikini, swimsuit, and wellness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busy day.
Yeah.
So you've told me before you've competed a race, your third comp.
Yeah.
Leading into this comp, what's been your biggest focus? Like, what's you had to work on? Like, what areas you had to work on mainly?
My shoulders would be my biggest focus because I play soccer as well, so my legs were already kind of defined. So it was definitely upper body focused to improve on from last season.
Yeah. And one question that I'll have to ask all the athletes is, what's the cheat meal going to be after the comp?
Cheat meal, pizza and good brews.
Well, where from, but?
Pizza. I really like Oh My Dough, but they shut down, so I don't know.
Well, it's going to be a fun day for you and a fun cheat meal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the interview.
No,
I wish you best of luck this weekend and all the best.
Thank you.
Fantastically long line of people lining up to get interviewed, and I'll tell you what, they're fantastic stories so far, Darko and Mile. Great to see so many interstate competitors coming for a Season A show too, isn't that right, Viv?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier in the broadcast tonight, not only is New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, and even Tasmania represented this weekend, joining the ACT athletes on stage.
You're going to be naming states and you're going to be naming countries, Viv, when we talk about the ICN World Games later this year, which is fantastic. Back over to Miller, who's with another fantastic competitor.
Oh, we're back here with Emma. So I thought I'd grab Emma just because Emma actually competed last week, and she just mentioned to me it was a bit of a struggle. It would be cool to see, how are you feeling leading into this week? Were you eating more carbs, eating more food? How was your training, your mindset?
I just feel a lot better this week. I think I know what to expect this week. I know what's coming. I rested a lot more and, had a little bit more food. So, feeling a lot better, feeling fresher.
Yeah, no, awesome. So which divisions are you doing tomorrow?
So I'll be doing figure rookie, figure classic, and figure overall.
Yeah. Awesome. And probably the question on everyone's mind is, what's your number one cheat meal for after the show?
Do you know what? I've been craving CBD dumplings in Canberra and gelato Messina.
Oh, yeah. Good choice. So thanks for that, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Miller again. So many great competitors, and they're coming from far and wide, which is excellent. There's also some legends in the house too, Viv. We can see Z Dennis in the building, gold class winner from ICN ACT last year. It's exciting that they are still coming in their droves to support, right? It's going from strength to strength.
It's awesome. Mr. Australia as well. Mr. Pro Australia, Z Dennis. So from taking out the gold class here, he went on and did the rest of it. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Hey, listen, man, I was just trying to say, like, he's the man of this hour, but then he turned out to be the man of the Australian hour. What
Absolutely.
a legend. Mr. Pro Australia, Z Dennis, the man of the moment. Let's go back over now with Darticle, with another one of our great competitors.
It's Darticle again. I'm here with Ali, and Ali, first question is, what divisions are we doing on Sunday?
Doing a few, most of the bikinis, including Bikini Mum, swimsuit, and my fun one is runway.
Yep, so another busy day for you. Another question I want to ask is, like, this prep so far, has it been challenging? Has it been smooth sailing?
A bit challenging, but nothing that I can't handle. So.
What have been the biggest challenges, I guess, in the prep?
Working full time, starting a business with my husband, and looking after 2 small children.
Yeah, that's what like me. When I did my comp, I'm a tradie, so like, I'm all day on the trade side, then I'm competing and like training and just And question I love, like I asked before, I love to ask all the athletes. It's the best question to ask. Cheat meal.
Cheat meal, good burger.
Good burger. That's probably mine as well. Oh, well, thank you for the interview. Pleasure, and I wish you best of luck this Sunday.
Thank you.
Darticle's going to have me out of a job very soon, Viv. It's a great team that we're building here to do all of our sideline interviews. I'm proud that me and you are JR and the King Law. This is good, mate.
Dreams do come true. Dreams do come true.
Absolutely. From the off, it's been a great event, and we continue on with the next interview with Miller.
Hey, we're back. We're back here. So I'm with competitor Zara. Zara is a very special athlete. So Zara actually does a jockey on the side as well. So I thought I'd grab her out of the crowd to sort of give us a bit of a rundown how it was leading into the show, being a jockey and being, because I know you were telling me that you were doing a crazy amount of steps every single day on top of your cardio, on top of your training, on top of your dieting. How was it leading into the show?
Mate, it was awesome, but I've had to stop work for a little bit for 2 weeks, coming into even 3 weeks now to stop riding. So I've been a professional rider for about 10 years now, and I'm a jockey. Yep. So literally up from 2:30 a.m. till 9 riding horses, then to the gym, then to work, then back to the gym, and then back to work. So yeah, I think I was doing like 55,000 steps a day at one stage, but as I've tapered off, like I'm filling out now, and I love this experience, and you guys have been so awesome supporting me, and yeah, I'm ready to go on Sunday. Let's go.
For those of you who don't know, we've been sharing a lot of Zara stuff on social media, and she is looking absolutely shredded. So it'll be awesome to see how you look on Sunday. Is there anything specific, any game plan or anything like that for Sunday?
No, man, look, I'm your typical dumb athlete. I'm just doing what Aaron Cordina says.
Shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to Aaron, Team Insight. Yeah, just doing some top, but no, this is good fun. Just going to go, I love being on stage. I'm not going to lie, excuse me, I'm a bit of an attention horse, so get that limelight, call my name, I'm there to rumble, man, let's go.
That's awesome. So thank you for this, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, thanks guys.
All the best.
Wonderful work there, Miloslav, with these wonderfully beautiful competitors. I tell you what, Viv, the fact that they're coming in these wonderful gowns and suits and tuxedos for this gala event shows the respect level on this, and it's just great to see everyone enjoying themselves, right? And like we've talked about, we can't exactly have it as a cocktail event with canapes prior to a massive bodybuilding show, but what we can do is dress it up as we have, and everybody's taking part in that.
Absolutely. One thing we love to see as well is the family members, Steve, that are joining them. These are the people who are in the households with them, going through the journey, but on the other end, being the support crew. So being able to share that with them today, it's just fantastic to see them all
That
out
was
together.
me once upon a time with my wife, Viv. You're sitting there going, yeah, go for it. You know it is what they're going through, but hey, they do very well. Back over to Darticle now. He is with one of our magnificent guests. We just talked about it, Mr. Pro Australia. This is Z Dennis. Over to you, Darticle.
Guys, Darticle again, and I'm honoured to be here and interviewing ICN Pro Z, a good friend of mine as well. Z, how are you tonight, man?
Good, thank you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm living the dream. So now you're in off-season?
Yes.
Bulking up now?
Yeah.
You did the IFBB show, I saw. took home first place.
Yeah.
Tell me about how experiencing like going to natural bodybuilding to the IFBB.
It wasn't something we have planned on the car, but it was definitely an experience that I'll definitely cherish for life. So, because obviously, as you are aware, it is an untested federation, so just being on there was a huge privilege to be on there now, to be able to place as I did. I did enjoy this, yes. Yeah.
Tell us the emotions you got when you actually took home first place.
Yeah. The thing with shows is like, short after shows, you just never know what emotions you are feeling, because there is a lot of things that happen on the day, especially within such a short amount of time as well. So after the show, I just couldn't believe that I was a place, that I got a place and I just was still in disbelief. And after a couple of days now, and even now, like looking back, that's when I realized, I was like, wow, fuck, that was awesome. Yeah.
So now, any of the plans, any shows in plan that you have in mind, or?
Oh, at the moment, no. There's no shows in plan at the moment. I'm just really focusing on growing as an individual. Just trying to grow business-wise, and also just try to grow families and everything else as well. So there's no shows or anything planned at the moment. Just enjoying life, and coming to things like this that are important. It's a huge privilege to be part of this as well.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of Captain Bob and Darko, as a close friend, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And come and see you on stage again.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Daniel's head.
That was Darko, absolutely magnificent there, chatting to these great guests. I tell you what, Viv, people are normally camera shy, and in this instance, they are camera not shy. There's a line of 10 people here still waiting to jump on this broadcast, which goes to show how exciting that is. And we'll jump back over with Miller. He's ready, Viv, but how good is that? Just quickly, how good is it that there's so many people excited to talk?
Absolutely amazing. You know what? But they deserve to tell their stories, and this is what we love sharing with the greater community.
Mate, I can talk for Australia, and these guys can talk for ICN ACT. So here we are. Back over to you, Miller.
Welcome back. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Alex. Alex, this is her first show coming into ICN ACT this Sunday. How are you feeling coming into your first ever show? How was it the peak week coming in, and how was the whole experience?
Whole experience this time was pretty good. Calories are pretty high for me, which is a good first for me this time around. Won't lie, pretty nervous. I suffer from severe stage fright, so just got to get up on the stage. That's the main thing. I've got some people in my corner telling me that they're just going to shove me literally on stage if it gets to it, but we'll see how it goes.
What was your main motivation for doing this show? So I know that you're getting coached by Matt Tran, and you've done a few practice preps, I suppose. What was your main motivation to stick to this season and do this show on Sunday?
I think my first prep was a bit diabolical. If you know me, you know all the gory details of it, and I think it was pretty much just to stick that prep, kind of bury it, and kind of bring out a bigger, better package in a bigger and better way to show that we don't kind of have to, really have to kill ourselves sometimes to go through a prep, and I've done just that. So the package is absolutely great, so we've already won in my eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's all it takes really to, give it all you got and, showcase what you got on Sunday. So on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding, wish you all the best, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. See you then.
See you later.
See ya.
That was Miloslav there with another one of our great competitors. Great job, and they're all very, very excited, looking fantastic. I've not seen anyone without a smile on their face, Viv, and that's really, really exciting.
It's awesome to see. And you know what? Two things really quick, Steve. There was a huge row of C4 cans. Mate, you and I are keeping these ones because there's none left.
Hey,
They've all gone.
This is going in my pocket right now, okay? I'll keep it out for now. I'll keep it right here, but these ones coming home with me ready for the weekend, brother. Back over to Darko now. He's with another one of our great competitors, Nikita, ready for the weekend. Over to you, Darko.
Hey boys, I'm here with Nikita, and you told me before this is your first time doing a comp, first prep. What emotions have you found during prep? Like, how have you found it challenging? You found it pretty easy?
I have found it a little bit challenging, just purely because I am such a food lover.
Yep.
But I love the drive,
Yep.
I guess, with the whole surrounding of prep. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And as an athlete, what do you find look for in a coach when you look for a coach to compete? Like, is it like for me, it's more like that bonding type thing, right? What do you look for in a coach?
Well, thankfully, my coach he knows me so well. Shout out to Jono at Off Tap Fitness. But so he's been my coach on and off for about 7 years. It's definitely hard love that we give each other. So he definitely knows my cues and when to really pull me into line and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
I think he just knows me.
That's good when the coach knows you perfectly well. And cheat meal after the comp, what are we looking at?
Nutella.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my partner's literally, I swear, bought all the Nutella.
Straight out of the jar, straight out of the jar.
Literally like 9 kilos worth, if not more.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Canberra Bodybuilding, wish you best of luck this weekend, and hope you do well.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thanks for that, Darko. Looking forward to seeing Nikita perform on the weekend along with everybody else that's lined up. It's going to be huge.
All the way from Queensland, Steve, coming in on a Friday night for this gala night. That's absolutely amazing to see these guys. The guys from Queensland, about 5 competitors, I believe we have from Queensland have come through for this show, all arriving on the Friday night to actually make a whole weekend out of the territory.
And so they should, mate. Canberra's a city that's starting to grow. You talk about so many people that have made their way here. They love how quiet it is. They love how quality the employment is. They love how quality the schools are. It's a great city, mate. It's starting to grow, and for that reason, things are going great. Back over to you, Miloslav, with 2 great competitors. We've got a double interview lined up for the first time tonight. Over to you, Millet.
Hey, welcome back. So we've got Georgia and Selena. So I wanted to grab these 2 competitors because they competed last weekend as a warm-up show for the ACT show. This is the first competitive season you guys have done. How did you feel coming into your first ever show? Was there, are you going to be are you still nervous for this show coming into ACT at the, because ACT is our home in front of the home crowd, and what was the mindset of coming into the show?
There were definitely a lot of mixed emotions going in, especially travelling for our first show. There's always some nerves around travelling for me, but as soon as I finished my first division on the stage, I just wanted to go back out there, and I've felt like that all week. I feel like I've been on a high since I've done, so I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, probably the same as Georgia. As soon as I got on stage, definitely got all the nerves out of the way. Obviously having some friends and stuff up there as well to cheer me on, was really good. Definitely enjoyed it, and keen to get out there and do it again.
That's awesome. So I'm guessing you guys will have a lot of family in ACT that will be coming to join. After that, you're going to have your post competition feed. Is there anything specific you've been craving for, or are you happy with your chicken and rice and your meals?
We're going for burgers. Any kind of chicken burger I'm happy with, honestly. Yeah. Chicken burger.
Yeah, burgers, and then also going to Raku. Sushi has been my biggest craving.
Yeah. Awesome. So thanks, girls, for coming on, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah,
all the best.
Thanks for that, Miller. Great interview there with 2 of our wonderful female competitors. They are ready to go and looking beautiful ahead of the weekend. Now, Viv, we are less than 48 hours away. We're probably, 36 to be technical on the clock away from the big kickoff. How much is that pay-per-view on the weekend?
It's $19.99. I should say only $19.99, available on the ICN ACT app or the ICNACT.com website.
Make sure you scan that QR code right now and order that. Don't forget, that's $19.99 for a show that starts at 9:30 in the morning and goes up to around about 6 o'clock. So value for money is second to none. You're looking at around about $1.50 an hour. Absolutely fantastic. Back over to Darko now with another one of our great competitors. Darko.
Thanks, boys. I'm here with Lane. First question I want to ask is, what divisions are we doing this Sunday?
I'm doing wellness and sports model.
Is this your first time competing, or you competed before? First time?
First time.
Going to the first question now. First time competing, first time in prep. Have you felt emotions-wise? Has it been a roller coaster for you? Has it been smooth sailing?
It's been a very much an emotional roller coaster, but really taking those highs and running with them, not really dwelling on the lows. You have a lot more low days than high days, so It is what it is, but just pushing through it.
What's the lowest amount of calories you've been on so far this prep?
850.
Wow. I think the lowest I was 2,000, so big difference. What's about wellness? You're doing wellness. What about that category do you love so much?
Naturally, I have bigger hips, and I'm actually needing a second shoulder reconstruction, so I haven't been able to train upper body to my full potential. So wellness has just really fit me quite well. So yeah.
And now, leading into this comp, what's your cheat meal going to be after? Because it's the best question to ask the athletes.
Definitely sushi.
Sushi?
Sushi, yeah.
I was going to get something dirty, like a bit of a burger or pizza.
I've been missing sushi a lot, so.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for the interview. Wish you best of luck this weekend, and all the best.
Thank you.
media commitment.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Thanks very much for that. That was wonderful. Darko, well done there. We're just talking, me and you there off air, about all the wonderful things we're doing. There's so many interviews, so many people that are around, and that's why it's so exciting. Viv, another great competitor coming up again here. He's been around for a long time,
This is
mate.
Aaron May, someone who's lost over 30 kilos to make it to the stage. That's one thing we love about the ICN Federation as a whole, is giving people a great goal if they are looking for a weight loss journey, and seeing someone like Aaron go and smash it.
Aaron's a champion because he loves coming and having dinner and a few beers with us afterwards to celebrate what's been a great weekend. He's a legend, and it's back over to Miller now with Aaron.
Thanks for coming back. So I thought I'd jump on, grab one of the old boys from the crowd. You wouldn't be able to tell it, but he's actually 40 years old. You don't look 40, I could tell you that. How was the motivation coming into the show? And like you just said, you know, what was the motivation from your last showing? And you know, what was the areas you wanted to improve in to bring the best package you can this Sunday?
Mate, it was really what I wanted to do was be better than the last time I got up. So when I started on my fitness journey, I was, you know, an overweight dad, all that kind of stuff. Wanted to set a good example for the kids, grow, and you know, not be that dad that sat on the couch drinking a beer, watching footy. So got into it, and the motivation for this one was just to be a better, bigger version than myself, put on a bit of size. So with Viv KB, set up a bit of an off season, put on some size around my chest, my shoulders, really improve those kind of areas and grow in that.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And you know, obviously, you know, if you can do it, there's all the other dads out there as well. You know, you can do it as well. So coming into the show on Sunday, what's the game plan? Have you been carbing up since, you know, Monday or Tuesday, or is it a bit of a later carb up, or are you still suffering? Like, what's the
later carb up for me? It was I started yesterday with my carbs, so I was very much looking for that. So a bit of white potato just through there, and you know, I've noticed I get a bit of peak after that, and then I just drop off again. So you know, the ebbs and flows, but. Look, it's you know, it's the carbing. The plan is really just for me to get up there and have some fun with it. I'm competing in a new category, new division this year. So
which is
classic physique. Yeah. So looking forward to just trying that and having a bit of fun and making sure that I'm you know, probably the oldest guy in that category. So you know, that's got to represent.
Mate, that's awesome, and you know, that's what we're all about here. So you know, we want to get everyone on, and you know, people like you motivate other people to, you know, go ahead and compete. So I'm sure there's other people out there that, you know, they want to, they're probably looking to compete, or they're on the fence about it, and it's awesome to, you know, people like you to actually give that bit of motivation. So all the best for Sunday, mate, and we hope to see you there, and we'll grab an interview maybe after your show.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds good. But yeah, all the dad bods, get out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Miller. Another great interview with Aaron, one of our close friends here at ICN ACT. And now we've got a very special guest coming up. I tell you what, blast from the past here from 20 years ago when I first started in the gym. Viv, how exciting is this?
It's awesome. Kiki Hernandez. So Kiki works at Fit College now, so she's actually helping future personal trainers get ready for their journey into entering our profession and our industry.
Excellent. What a great space to be in, because I tell you what, that's something that needs to be done. The next generation of anything in the industry needs to be taught, be that trainers, be that competitors, be that everyone that's involved in the supplement game, you name it. So over with a very special guest, this is Darko. Over to you, Darko.
Hey guys, I'm Darko again here. I'm with Kiki. And first question we're going to start with is, what categories are we doing this Sunday?
This Sunday, I will be jumping into bikini. Yep. Do you want to know which ones exactly, or?
Bikini. So.
Yeah, bikini, and I'm also going to try the sports division.
Yeah, are you competing that for the first time, or you've done a comp before?
This would be my 5th or 6th comp. Yeah.
What about as I guess a vet in the sport, like you've competed so many times? What about the sport do you love so much?
I think I just like being in the gym, really. And I think it's really cool because it gives you like a challenge, something to work for. When you've been training for so long, you kind of like go, what do I do? What should I find a challenge in? So I thought that was,
Oh, nice. I said it again, I said it over again. I love to ask athletes a question of their cheat meal. So any cheat meals planned for after the comp?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
From where from, but?
Oh, anywhere.
just a pizza in general?
Anywhere, just a pizza in general. Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Canberra Bodybuilding, we wish you the best of luck this weekend and hope all the best.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Darko there with a special guest. That was Kiki Hernandez doing wonderful things there. Viv, I tell you what, another great competitor lining up here. He's one of the legends of the sport locally, Scotty Dickinson. How good's this?
This is going to be awesome. This is, I believe, year 20 year 20 competing with us here at ICN ACT for Scotty, who was overall champion the last time he competed.
He was.
Here. That's right, yeah.
2 years ago?
2 years
It's about
ago.
2 years ago.
Overall champion.
Absolutely. How exciting is that? 20 years. It's been 20 years of me as an adult trying to get out of bed, and here's Scotty Dickinson. He's pumping his way in the gym. Fantastic. Let's go over to you, Mille, with our great friend, Scotty Dickinson.
Hey, we're back with Capital Bodybuilding. I'm with Scott. How are you? So how was your prep coming into this this Sunday? You just mentioned that you competed last weekend.
Yes, I did. And, wasn't quite happy with my condition last weekend. I've had a week to tighten all that stuff up and practice my posing, which I wasn't quite happy with the week before. So hopefully we put in a better show this weekend.
Yeah. I guess that's sort of the benefit of doing, I suppose, a warm-up show before coming in. You can see what you need to work on, see where you need, you maybe might be lacking. So coming into this show here specifically, were you aiming to get more carbs in, get more, even maybe sleep or even water or anything?
Look, I needed to cut down a little bit more, still a little bit full. So I spent the week on a low carb and just starting my carb up earlier today. So looking forward to having a few more carbs tonight for dinner before we hit the stage on Sunday.
Yeah, and for those of you out there, he told me his age beforehand, and it's crazy. So how old are you?
I turned 52 in August this year.
Yeah. That is awesome. So for all you guys out there over 50s, you got to come in, look at the shape he's in. You can see how big he is throughout his shirt. So on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
That was Miller again, another one of our great competitors, all brought to you by C4. We thank them as our principal partners. We also thank Kevin Hart and his team for putting together our wonderful introduction video, as they are now the principal partners of the ICN World Games. Another great competitor coming up. Viv, what can you tell us about this great gentleman, Eddie?
Eddie, the overall champion from Newcastle last week, who's coming here to do back-to-back shows and looking to take out back-to-back overalls.
Wouldn't that be massive if he came here and did that?
Absolutely. Eddie is prepped by natural Mr. Australia, Z Dennis, as well. So you've got a world caliber coach with now a world caliber athlete about to grace the stage.
Can't wait to see it. Let's go over now to Darko with Eddie.
Hey guys, I'm here with Eddie now. You told me just before we got on camera, that you're doing bodybuilding. That's the class you're doing.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
What about the class that drives you to go do it? You know what I mean? So like, what do you love about it?
What do I love about bodybuilding? I didn't even. I'm not too sure, eh? I was influenced by a lot of people who entered that category. My best mate, actually, like 10 years ago, started it, and yeah, it just got me driven towards that.
It's funny how people can motivate. Like my mate Milosov just here, he motivated me to compete. Like I saw him compete for the first time. Yeah. That's what actually drove me to compete for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Is this your first comp now? Or you competed before?
Comp, yeah. First comp, definitely.
First comp?
Yeah. So I actually competed the ICN in Sydney, Newcastle.
Yep.
Surprisingly, took out the first time, I believe, 30 plus, and then opening.
Nice.
So yeah, stoked about it. Still trying to soak everything in.
Nice.
Didn't expect it all. So
nice.
Praying that I could possibly do this weekend as well. So
yeah. Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
Wish you best of luck. That's our time up. Best of luck, and all the best, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
There he was there. That was Darko, and we've just seen one of the C4s being taken by the president of ICN ACT.
No, take it. It's
we
his.
lost it. It's back
it's
now.
Yours. It's yours, boss.
We're
yours.
going to choose him like Stone Cold later. There it is, Stone Cold. We're going to do him up there, which is fantastic. C4 proud partners. So when he does this interview, it's going to be even better here, because this is branding at its finest, eh, Viv?
Yes, it is. 20 years in the game, 20 plus years in the game. We've got a can in his hand.
All right, over to C4 Bootsos. He's over there, the president of ICN ACT. Over to you, Millet.
So we're here with the man of the hour, the president of ICN ACT. You can see the plug-in here for C4. I just wanted to say, big congratulations on, the big showing for season A. What a turnout this is going to be. How are you feeling for this Sunday coming up to the show?
Really excited. It's probably the biggest, well, it is the biggest in numbers that we've ever done. So the crowd's always good in Canberra and vocal. So that's going to be great. And it just shows the hard work that Viv and the team is doing, and all the marketing guys, and they're having good growth. And that's the most important thing, I suppose, because as a community-based product, you want it to be big for the competitor.
Yep.
So it's wonderful. And as these, like Viv, as I say, Viv is doing the day-to-day work with it, and he's he's taken the bull by the horns and really helped to grow the federation well in Canberra. So
yeah, it's awesome to see, and growing up in Canberra, one of the bodybuilding legends, Harry, we've got to give a big shout out to him. I'm sure if he was still around, he'd be so very proud of what you've done for the sport here. So bodybuilding in Canberra has grown an incredible amount, and I just wanted to maybe touch on that a little bit as well, because in season B last year at the media night, you did touch on that a little bit, and it's awesome to see how much it's actually grown in Canberra as a whole, and it's getting more and more out there, especially with social media. People sharing their stuff, and it's spreading, and it's a sport people want to really try and get into. I'm sure that would have been Harry's vision if but yeah, just sort of touch on that a little bit as well.
Well, Harry came to me in 1999 and said, Nick, I got this idea. I want to run a bodybuilding show in Canberra. I said, it won't work. I told him I will not do it. And he goes, Nick, and because Harry wasn't a commercial guy.
Yeah.
And obviously I've been in business my whole life. And I was young at the time. I was 21 years old. And he goes, Nick, I really want to do this natural bodybuilding. It's going to take off. And because he had done a show or two around Australia. There was only a couple of shows back then in Australia. Yeah. And I said, Harry, I don't think it'll work in Canberra, because historically I'd competed in Canberra. The shows would run for a year, then fold. Then IFBB would fold, and all these shows would fold. And I said, it won't work. And he goes, Nick, let us try. So we did our first event, obviously, in 2001. We had 16 competitors.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, It was so small. It would have had 80 people watching in the crowd, and we were so happy. And Harry asked me again, Nicholas kept doing it, and I sort of was on the fence. I thought, you know what, he's got an idea. It's good for the stores. It's good for me. It gets me into a different industry, and we grew from there. And it was Harry's vision totally, 100%. And I'm just so happy that I listened to him. And this was his dream. He went to the world titles 15 times.
Yeah.
He'd won it over a handful of times.
Yeah.
So he was the gentleman that has created this whole thing. That's why the overall trophy in Season B is the Harry Hall Memorial Trophy. Yep. So, yeah.
That's one of the most awesome things, and to see the growth of the sport, especially in Canberra, it's second to none. I've competed in multiple federations, and to see how ICN ACT treats their athletes, and holding these gala nights and everything like that, it's awesome. And it's also you're trying to give back to the athlete, and which it's awesome to see, and because as all these athletes they train for months and months, diet for months and months leading up to the show, and they just want to present their best thing to show off, right? And it's awesome to see, and it's only going to get bigger and better. And with ICN Worlds coming into Canberra, that's a whole nother step up for Canberra as a whole. So. I just want to say, on behalf of Capital Bodybuilding, it's awesome to see. We're awesome to work alongside you, and we can't wait to, for the games in the end of the year, and it's just going to be better, bigger, better, and hopefully more and more competitors come through. So, all the best. Thank you, Nick.
That was the wonderful Miloslav Jovic, and he is with the ICN ACT president, who joins us now on the booth. It's great to see him.
Come take this seat, Nick.
He's getting that into him. Absolutely. A bit of C4 at this time of night. That's a Boots Off special. It's great to see him joining us here on the coverage. Thanks very much, Nick. Well spoken, mate. You're starting to become, a CEO with that visibility everywhere now. You've been a massive promoter in the sport of boxing, a massive promoter in the sport of bodybuilding, only going to those new levels. This must be exciting for you to see so many people lining up to chat, to interview, to take photos, and be a part of an event that is growing and growing.
Oh, very exciting, Steve. You've been here for a long time, and you've seen what this has progressed from a very small event with 16 competitors in 2001 to like 190 plus entries. And look at the format we have. Gala night, we have media, we have like people coming, taking photos, their partners. It's pretty nice to evolve into something that's a community. It is a community-based product, and that's evolved into a great community, really.
Absolutely. And one thing that you've been so great with is your resilience over the years. And that's what we've seen over the last 5 years with the pandemic that we had to go through, and, the last-minute scrambles that Viv and I were joking about before. On these broadcasts, Viv, we can laugh about it, but it wasn't funny at the time. But we got it done. And that must be something that you're really proud of, Nick, that you've been able to lead through those moments and now progress now to what is going to be soon. I want to talk about what's coming up, but we can't yet. But, the future stuff is going to be so great that it's going to be all worth it.
Listen, we've gone through multiple things. The pandemic was awesome. It was one of my, I've said to Viv, it was one of my favourite shows I've run in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money. It's not because of anything like that. It's because we fulfilled something. These people, we had 3 days to move a show, tell every competitor, tell the venue itself to accept us. We had to do paperwork. We had to jump through so many hoops with the government. It was my favourite show that I've run in the last 10 years.
Yep.
And I've run bigger events by miles. But it was because everyone appreciated. There was no one in the crowd. We sat there, the people who put this together, and created something fantastic and a special moment for the people competing, and a special moment for myself. So that's what, for me, I've done it for 25 years, Steve, and I've done high-level boxing events, kickboxing, K1. I've been all over the world with fighting, and as you know, we've been together. But bodybuilding is true to my heart, and I will always hope to make it something special. I want it to be special because I did it a long time ago, and it was not always the greatest experience. Not putting anyone down, but just, it wasn't the. It was hard. Even the way they were treated was sort of different. I want everyone to come here to feel welcome, to have a great experience, to take their time, take the moment in, and leave happy. You know, you might win, you might come fifth, but I want you to be happy when you leave. I want you to not think, oh, I went there and that was horrible.
How big can you take this, Nick? You're in a position now where there's so many things working in your favour. You've had Kevin Hart tonight that you've presented. You know, I've seen C4 with the biggest athletes in the world, around the world. You are really taking it to the next level. How big can you go and how motivated are you to take this for not only the competitors, but for everybody that's involved to the highest level possible?
Well, there's two parts to that, Steve, because the people behind me are motivated. So Viv, you, the team, we've got a team of younger people that are very motivated. So my motivation is not the problem. It's I'm there, right? I'll lead you guys. And you know, I've been to pretty high levels in other business. I'd love to make this a big commercial product. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be mainstream. I love bodybuilding. You know, I'd love it to be sort of accepted and something that people talk about. It's a common sport.
So it's almost bringing you back to that sort of 1970s initial love they had with those guys, you know, in the Schwarzenegger, Franco Colombo days, you know, Louis Ferrigno early on, but bringing it now, because this must be exciting for you, but it's a new era, right? We're all on headsets now where we're treating this like the WWE and like the UFC, and that's what it's like in all sports now. So the fact that you're sitting here as the boss is a fantastic achievement too, I think. It's a great moment.
Yeah, absolutely, but all credit to everybody else around me, because I'm not a visionary. I'm a person who does the work, but I'm not a super visionary. You guys are the guys pushing me to move this way. So we have a good product. Not everyone's seen it, but it's in this city, it's been a great product for many a year. Now we can get it out there more, right? We have the tools. We've invested in the media stuff, in all the equipment. So there's parts to it, and we've decided to do it. And I think if we can get this product shown to a greater audience, I think people will like it. And I hope that is the case.
That is absolutely going to be the case. I have no doubt about it. You can see there on the screen at the moment in the bottom left-hand corner. That is your QR code. Grab that pay-per-view. As we talked about before with Viv, $19.99. That is as cheap as you're going to get. It's about $1.50 an hour from 9:30 in the morning all the way through to the end of the day. And with what's coming up for the rest of the year, the ICN World Games, this promises to be nothing but the best. So on behalf of Viv Bhattacharjee, ICN ACT Vice President, ICN ACT President and CEO Nick Bootsauce, we thank you very much for joining us for our gala night. 2 hours of wonderful entertainment we've put on for you tonight, and we look forward to seeing you bright and early on Sunday morning. Get that pay-per-view right now, and we'll see you for a massive day of action. Season A, the Canberra and Country Titles. On behalf of ICN ACT, it's good night for now, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Good evening.
But I can't think of a better time to say Life.